The arrogant strike. The first blow came without warning. Above the colony world of Vera 3, the sky split open as alien cruisers descended, their plasma batteries carving cities into smoldering ruins. The invaders, the Thalkir Dominion, were not subtle. They bombarded hospitals, schools, and marketplaces, mocking the humans who scrambled in terror below. On the lead vessel, a Thalkir warlord sneered across the comms. "Earth breeds vermin. Today, we cleanse their infestation." 12 million civilians lived on Vera 3. By nightfall, fewer than 2 million remained alive. The rest were ash, scattered in the toxic winds. And when the Thalkir caught a glimpse of human survivors, they laughed. They mocked their weakness, their tears, their desperate prayers. To them, this was no war. It was extermination. Mockery in the halls of power. The Dominions celebrated. In their grand chamber aboard the dreadnought Vraxis Prime, commanders toasted their victory. They paraded images of broken human colonies as trophies. Among them, a story circulated with growing humor. During the occupation of Vera 3, one human survivor had been dragged before the council, a janitor. His name barely registered, Samuel Hale. His hands were rough with years of scrubbing colony floors, his clothes little more than rags. The aliens jeered at him, asking what Earth would send next: a farmer, a tailor, perhaps a child with a stick. The chamber roared with cruel laughter. The janitor's silence only deepened their amusement. They dismissed him as nothing, a slave to be broken, a witness to humanity's humiliation. They never realized he was listening, watching, waiting. The quiet patience of Earth. The galaxy mistook silence for weakness. In the aftermath of Vera 3, alien empires whispered that Earth was finished, that humans had grown too civilized, too complacent. The Dominion laughed the loudest. They did not know Earth's patience. For weeks, transmissions from Earth ceased. Civilian traffic halted. Fleets vanished into uncharted voids. The galaxy thought it fear. In truth, it was preparation. And in the shadows of occupied colonies, Samuel Hale moved. The janitor who scrubbed floors now walked corridors of alien warships, unseen, ignored. A man invisible to conquerors, he carried codes, sabotage plans, whispers of rebellion. He had seen his family burned alive on Vera 3. He would not scrub floors forever. The silence breaks. The first sign came as a whisper. A Thalkir cruiser above the colony world of Nuris 4 reported a system-wide blackout. Then, its reactor exploded from the inside. Minutes later, 3 more Dominion vessels went dark, their hulls drifting cold and lifeless. The aliens panicked. Their network screamed with static, doors sealed, weapons jammed, navigation blinked out. Somewhere across hundreds of captured systems, Samuel Hale's work blossomed. The janitor had turned their own arrogance against them. Years of ignored presence had granted him access to codes, systems, weaknesses. And now Earth's fleets were arriving to finish what he began. From the darkness beyond the galactic rim, human dreadnoughts emerged. Thousands. Colossal ships whose engines glowed like suns. Their comms opened once, broadcasting a single message to the galaxy. You laughed, now you listen. The fire of retaliation. The retaliation was not a battle, it was a storm. Human fleets descended upon Dominion strongholds with relentless precision. Entire armadas blinked into existence, dropping from slipspace in perfect formation, their hulls blotting out stars. Where the Thalkir had once mocked, they now screamed. Orbital platforms shattered under kinetic bombardments. Cities built on enslaved worlds burned as humanity's retribution fell like a tidal wave. Marines in exosuits, armored like walking fortresses, landed in coordinated strikes, sweeping through entrenched alien positions as if tearing through paper. Samuel Hale himself stood on the bridge of the first liberated flagship, no longer a janitor but the architect of vengeance. His coded infiltrations had turned enemy fleets blind, deaf, paralyzed. He had given Earth the opening it needed, and Earth had answered with fire. The galaxy watched as dreadnoughts burned Dominion worlds, their cannons speaking the language of extinction. The shattering of the Dominion. The warlords of the Thalkir tried to rally. They hurled fleets against the human advance. It was useless. Every counterstrike collapsed before it began. Their weapons froze mid-fire. Their shields dropped without warning. Their engines cut in battle. Hale's sabotage tore through their networks, dismantling the Dominion from within. And then came the human fleets, massive, implacable, unyielding. Witnesses described it like scripture. Fleets blotting out suns, swarms of fighters moving like storms across the skies, bombardments so vast they reshaped continents. World after world fell in silence, save for the thunder of human guns. The Dominion, once the galaxy's terror, became a memory in days. Not years, not decades, days. The last laughter dies. In the ruined halls of Vraxis Prime, the surviving warlords cowered. They remembered the janitor they had mocked. They remembered their laughter. Now Samuel Hale stood before them, armored in human steel, the galaxy's most unlikely war hero. His voice was quiet, but it carried like a blade. You laughed at a janitor, but it wasn't me who won this war. It was Earth. It was every name you burned, every face you mocked, every child you thought forgotten. We are not civilized enough to forgive. We are human enough to remember. Then he gave the order. The dreadnoughts fired. The Dominion's capital was erased in fire. Aftermath, the whispered fear. Silence followed. Across the galaxy, survivors spoke in hushed tones. They had seen humanity's wrath, patient and absolute. They had seen fleets blot out stars, heard the thunder of vengeance, felt the ground tremble beneath armies that moved like storms. And in that silence, one warning spread. Never provoke Earth again. Samuel Hale returned to obscurity. He asked for no titles, no monuments. He walked the ruins of Vera 3 and scrubbed the stone of his family's names into the memorial wall. A janitor still, but one who had carried the fire of a species into war. The galaxy learned the truth that day. Humanity's patience is vast, but their vengeance is infinite.